Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's about 10 minutes after. I've sent a reminder to some of the other students, so they might be showing up a little bit late. That's okay, as long as they show up. So, Keshawn, what projects do you have? You have a lot of projects to share today, don't you?
Yeah, I have like 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3.
So you're doing digital media and graphic design too, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, sir.
So plenty going on.
Okay.
So again, let's do this one project at a time. And maybe you can introduce your project, introduce your sketches, and then leave the primary image shown to us so that we can kind of give you some feedback on our end as far as what we're seeing. And since this crit group is kind of, I guess, a little small right now, Shelby, it's up to you and I to make sure Keshawn gets some really good constructive feedback, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I got to turn on screen sharing. Hold on. I
Yeah.
always forget this. Okay. It should be okay.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right. So this is Project 4, Graphic Design 2. And this was my very first sketch, and I followed along with it pretty well, I would say. Like, the idea just flew through my head, and I just hurried up and drew it out like really quick, like.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, the initial sketch kind of reminds me of Milton Glaser, you know, when he did that I Heart New York sketch.
Yeah.
Became so famous. He did it in the back of a taxi cab, you know, just thought of it and put it on a napkin.
Oh yeah, I heard that story.
Right.
Yep.
So these are process images, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the final of what I got. What I was able to create.
And it's an 8.5 by 11, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like the simplicity, and right off the bat, you know, I see the grid. So, you know, I really appreciate the grid in all shapes and forms, you know, whether it's art and design. I really love seeing that kind of ordered information. I'm a little confused by the backdrop sky, although I like the texture. And I'm wondering, as far as the colors of the actual typeface. So there's I kind of wish like the yellows were coordinated and the blues were coordinated. So right now I'm looking at the blue bird and the O for vote, and
Yeah.
kind of wishing that that color had been coordinated a little bit more closely. So I'm always, you know, especially in design, I'm always looking for elements to sort of talk to each other and be in relation to each other. Obviously, the grid does that very well, but I'm even unpacking it even further with the bird, even like the sky, which is a different blue, but I wonder how that could have been coordinated with other elements within the design. So I'm essentially trying to look for connections, but obviously the idea to vote is very, very clear. But I wonder, like, you know, the symbolism, like, for example, the Statue of Liberty. My initial question is, you know, what does that represent? I mean, obviously it's the United States, but, you know, on a deeper level, it seems to represent, like, you know, immigrants and, you know, things that are actually a little bit kind of antithetical to the current administration in the White House. So I also want to say it feels a little safe, because I mean, we're in such an interesting time, you know, like, yeah, I feel like it's,
Hmm.
It's apolitical, meaning it's not tilting left or right. It's just kind of like right smack in the middle. So that's kind of what I'm reading from this. Shelby, what are you thinking? What do you see?
Um, Towards, even though I'm not in the class, I wasn't really know what was it
Oh, I'm sorry, Kishan. Maybe give her an update and tell her what the project was.
yeah.
So basically, the project was just creating like a, let's see, hold on, like a banner kind of type of thing for voting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the project synopsis. It says create an 8.5 by 11-inch voting initiative illustration intended to increase census participation and voter turnout. So there's two classes that we have, and both of them consisted of the same project. And for this
Mhm.
one, I was going more of like a United States feeling, like America. And then the other one
Yeah.
I created was more like a Native American theme.
Okay.
But for this one, I included Lady Liberty because it's just symbol. It's just like one of the biggest symbols of like what represents America. And
Yeah.
so the clouds in the back. I started off with the background. So I wanted to like include like a nice blue sky with like some clouds here and there. So the background I drew it myself using different brushes and stuff.
Hmm.
And then the idea I stuck with my sketches. So I found a picture of Lady Liberty, and then like I pretty much just like drew it out myself.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what took the whole like which took me the longest was drawing it, but it turned out pretty good. And the grid actually was already pre-planned too. I already wanted to create like a I seen some of the precedents, and one of them like had like almost like a grid design, so I wanted to include that in mine as well. And the bluebird right there is is using symbolism as well.
Yeah.
With like politics, social media is involved and everything. So the bluebird represents Twitter, and then the stars are just in relation. I guess it's considered symbolism too. It's just relating to like the flag and stuff.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then just having all these separate images along with the word vote, like with our readings too, we're learning about different styles of collage. So I wanted to create like my own illustration mixed in with like a collage style. So this is what I was able to create.
From not really being in class, and I can also know that how other people I know, artists who create stuff online, especially how hard it could be when you're trying to work with the whole techniques and the brushes and how to basically blend things with each other, and the placement too. um I do appreciate how the color and basically the clouds wombs together, like it's in the sky, like in the background, and you see like the big city on the side of her standing basically right there, from a whole different vision of like the background where you're looking at towards going up and down. And basically it is kind of very different, like maybe if you're trying to think of like where those is the location, like where are you going to put like the flyer at, because like some people probably won't understand or see what you see through the stars and like a bird right there. It was a very like off-putting, like are you trying to put like a bird there to represent like a what's going on in the world of like the color, or how it represents like each category, or like through our own tradition, like how exactly were you trying to put that together. But you answered my question, and it is a bit different that I've seen before, but very creative, I would say.
Thank you.
I think that's
Yeah,
an important, that's an important
yeah,
point that Shelby is making. Sorry to interrupt, Keshan,
yeah,
but
that's good. Sorry.
like mentioning the symbols, and they're kind of a little bit ambiguous as far as the meaning, the stars and the colors and the bird. I mean, although I think your explanation helps quite a bit, Keshan. Um,
Hmm.
I think the poster would be just as successful without the stars or the bird.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you could possibly take those out and then make the wording a bit bigger or possibly a bit more bolder or something like that. But at the
yeah.
same time, I mean, it is your art.
Yeah. No, that's understandable because looking back at it and like really looking at it and getting someone else's opinion,
Yeah.
the stars I could see like the yellow, like I don't know, like maybe that's just poor color choice. And I could have with the bird and the star, the yellow star and the bluebird, I could have like related the colors to they're two separate blues, so
Hmm.
balance and stuff like yeah, just looking at it I can see what's wrong with it now. Like
Well, I think it's really this all of this, and I'm just going to do it. I know, we're supposed to remain apolitical, to be in our discussions, but right now Donald Trump is trying to prevent states from counting ballots because,
Exactly.
okay,
that's crazy.
so yeah, it's crazy. And I felt like, I wanted to create this project, because I feel like it's really important for folks to be engaged and aware of this process. And so, Keishawn, can you stop your screen sharing for a second? I want to share the original PDF that I had
Yeah.
given, because I think it's worth the conversation, and especially looking at this artist. So I'm gonna see here. There it is. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So here's
Yeah.
the original assignment that I had given the graphic design students. And project 4, be counted, vote, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this should look familiar to you as well, Shelby, because I have a certain kind of consistent formula for how I'm introducing projects to
Yeah.
students. You do your reading, I tell you why you're supposed to be doing this project, blah, 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 project synopsis. And I always tell you, hey, look at this artist, right? And so I gave you some precedents of some posters actually that went through an organization in Santa Fe called Axel Contemporary. And I just that's how I got the idea for this project for students. But these are just simple posters that folks were actually designing, and they were meant to go on, those like presidential signs, whether they represent Biden or Trump or whatever, that folks can put in their yard. They happen to be around that size, which is 8.5 by 11. So you can print these and put them in your yard, and they can be viewed. Although that wasn't part of it. I didn't insert that in this project. The whole premise was to hopefully encourage folks to create a project that obviously, says vote. And Kishan, you did fulfill that part of the project.
Yeah.
But I also, the caveat to that is that I also added this artist. And if you look at his work, there aren't even any words, but it's really loaded visually with these sort of visceral, intense stories or narratives, these illustrations. And although these aren't necessarily voting related, I believe that they're socially or politically motivated, perhaps.
Yeah.
And so,
There was another artist too. I forgot his
yeah.
name, but he was the one who was on Time magazine. His
Yeah.
illustrations. Yeah.
So I think it's really important, and literally, I think why not? We can just mention that in passing. We don't have to make any comments on it. But like I said, right now, there's someone trying to stop folks from their voices being heard, at the voting ballot. And I think it's really important for artists and designers to, in a way, kind of be aware and active socially and politically. So, and the reason I wanted to show Keshawn these to Shelby, because I think it might be helpful for her, because she's also a design major, although you guys aren't in the same exact courses. You're both on you have the same goal eventually, and that's to be a professional designer in an office or,
Yeah.
But again, your voice can be political and social, and the designs that you create can influence folks. That's pretty much the premise of this project. So now I'm going to stop screen sharing and let's go back. Hold on one second.
I kind of used that top image though. The other one that said vote, that was kind of a collage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I used that one as a reference.
Ah, okay, okay. So let's take a look at your poster again.
Okay. 1 second. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So so I feel like, I'm going to be, I'm giving you constructive feedback right now, Keshawn. I feel like you fulfilled the project, but I'm not sure if I feel that this project, if you took it to the next level where it's kind of like, motivated by maybe your own political affiliation or perspective or response to, what's been going on with national politics or local politics or, Dene Nation centered politics. So I feel like this could be a little bit more volatile.
Yeah, that's true. But then like the idea like I was kind of going for is just to keep it kind of like family friendly. But thinking back on it, like I could have done way more if it was like political in a sense, like more.
Like we're
More
talking
of me.
about, we've been talking about collage and assemblage quite a bit, and graphic design is such a great opportunity to use visual imagery in a very kind of dynamic, interesting way. What if you had taken those blue stars and put them on top of her eyes? Or what if you had taken the bluebird and put it on top of her mouth? What if you had centered, I'm just kind of what if, how does that change the narrative?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So yeah, I think the illustration itself, though, that you did, I think it's really nice because it feels very painterly. And I'm curious, what software were you using?
Remember I didn't have any of the softwares yet.
Yeah.
So for this one, I was still using Procreate, but for the other projects like the comic and the other illustrations we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
those ones I'm starting to use the main Adobe Illustrator.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So for these ones, I was stuck to the Procreate because there was an update file that barely came out for the Adobe for iPad, and it came out the middle of October, late October. But yeah, and I'm using that now. So this one was off. This one was off Procreate, and I mean for Lady Liberty, I just used different brushes, and I just use different brushes and stuff.
Okay. So some more constructive feedback, and I'm going to be a little bit more pointed with this, Keshawn. I think you have such amazing talent. I think you're pretty much at a stage or level with this degree program where you need a laptop and you need access to all those 3 big software applications, which is InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator. And using all 3 of those sort of applications simultaneously to solve visual problems is kind of like the next step. So I know you have your iPad or your tablet, but if you don't have a computer, what I want to encourage you to do is to contact the IT department and get a loaner and tell these guys, the IT department folks, that you're a graphic design major and that you need Adobe, because they've actually been doing that for folks. Shelby, did you do that?
No, this is actually my own computer.
Yeah, so I guess Shelby has her own, and I'm not sure if you've purchased your own software, but right now IT is kind of trying to help students out with technology. So if you don't have a laptop, call those guys up and tell them, hey man, I'm a Dene College student. I'm a graphic design major. Mr. Bollinger said to contact you guys, and get yourself a laptop, because I think things will start going to a whole nother level for you. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, just send them an email, but no, actually you need to put in a ticket. And you can also contact the IT director as well. In fact, maybe as soon as we're done with this crit, I can send out an email to help you out to kind of get that ball rolling. But Keshawn, I really want you to start using Adobe software exclusively and in a very interdisciplinary way to solve visual problems. So my primary comment on this one is that you definitely checked the boxes, but I kind of want to hear your voice a little bit more clearly in these designs. And although I do agree, you know, when you say, okay, I wanted it to be more family centric or family safe or.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I was going on the lines of that, like
Mm,
putting my voice out there. Like for instance, I was gonna add a headdress,
yeah,
and then
right.
that's time consuming,
Hmm.
and then like maybe add like paint. Like the reason why this Mona Lisa I painted it, it's like and it's sloppy, like it has like its own like unique aesthetic. But I guess the only problem I had was just time.
Yeah,
And I know I haven't turned it in yet either, but this was done like a week before the project was due,
yeah,
and like I'm just sitting here like, damn, like should I really turn it in like this?
right. Well, I mean, meaning you weren't quite confident that you liked it?
Yeah,
Yeah. So the other thing I'm always trying to emphasize to all of my students, and particularly design students, because it's very, very important. You know, I think one of the project goals I always have for both art and design students is to produce a portfolio, right? And so essentially, when you're done with this program, the goal is for you to have a portfolio that represents your voice so that you can apply for a job in a marketing office or you know whatever your goals are, but you need to show someone that A, you have the technical skills, but also B, that you have a very specific visual voice that you can add, that you can add to the broader vision. And so
yeah, that makes sense.
that's why I'm always encouraging students to, you know, listen to your personal voice and you know, give it 110%, not like 75, 70%, because you know, design, first of all, is so darn competitive. Um, you know, you really need to be giving 100, 110% constantly. So as far as your, would you say, what was your percentage as far as like your heart and soul being in this project, Kishan?
Um, I was pretty much all in. It was just like the choices and like being like, to be honest, I don't really know much about politics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really want to like implement stuff like I wasn't really sure like
Okay.
like what I knew
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was part of it too.
Okay. That's a fair reply. It looks like Andrea just joined us. Andrea, can you hear me?
Yes, I just have really bad reception.
Oh, that's okay. No
I
problem at
keep
all.
cutting in.
Can you see Kayshawn's poster?
I saw it earlier, the one of the, okay, yeah, now I see it.
What are your initial impressions? We're just, you know, even without Kayshawn explaining things, I'm kind of trying to do this in all my crit classes. So instead of the artist kind of spilling all their beans initially, it's almost kind of nice for Kayshawn just to get feedback from other folks, you know, just with what you see.
I kind of felt like what he was talking about having more time to do it, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how I feel about my projects. Like I wish I had more time to go into detail. But it looks good so far. Like the Liberty. Did he draw it or did you? How did
Yeah, I
you
drew it.
mess with that? Was that? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's what I used to do. I used to draw, pre-draw be Illustrator and um what's the bird for?
It's a symbol. It's like Twitter. You know, like everything's all like presidents, like they're on social media. Everything's social media.
So I
I
think
heard you. I heard you.
I think Andrea's question, and I almost kind of like the way that she kind of put it too. She was like, "Well, what's the bird for?" So, so if she's kind of like wondering, what in the world does the bird represent? Why is it there? So that's a
Yeah.
really good, yeah. So I'm giving, keep in mind, Kayshawn, you know, that I am giving you like slightly more, I guess, sandpapery rough feedback on this project, but you know, I'm doing it to help you, okay? I think that your illustration of the Lady Liberty is really wonderful. But in a way, I think that Lady Liberty is kind of like in peril these days, like I said, because of the current political circumstances. So I think that there are ways to kind of represent, you know, the current political context with design techniques that can still sort of represent your personal voice too. So let's go on to your next. You had another vote poster for your digital media class, right?
It's Keyshawn, bad signal again.
Uh-oh. You might have to wait for him
Yeah.
to come back. That's too bad. He didn't hear my 5-minute rant then, huh?
Oh, he's connected back.
Well, Andrea, maybe you can, I don't know.
Can you hear me?
I don't want, yeah, we can hear you now.
Could you still see my screen?
Mm-mm.
We did. You froze up a
Oh.
little bit, but you completely went away. But did you hear anything that I had said by any chance?
No.
Okay, well, I'll try to summarize it very, very quickly. Essentially, I was saying that I'm giving you more kind of like, you know, sandpapery feedback today, but it's for your own growth as a designer, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Hit me, have no feelings.
stuff is hard to take, you know what I mean? But I just kind of, I want to see more Kayshawn in your work, and for some reason I kind of felt like this project wasn't, it just kind of checked some boxes, you know?
Yeah.
So let's move on to your digital media project, if that's okay. Or
It's the same thing, right? Basically.
Yeah, pretty much, but a different medium, right? The graphic design one was much more interdisciplinary between the different Adobe programs, but the digital media one should focus more on Adobe Illustrator, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my sketch. Yeah, so like what I said about the first one, I had two themes since they were both kind of the same thing. So like one was like Native Americans, like getting them involved to vote.
Yeah.
And the other one's like for just like other people, I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I got this. The res isn't all green, it's just brown, so I just added some brown colored heels.
Are you trying to share screen? I don't think we're seeing
Yeah,
it.
I don't see it either.
Really? Oh my god. All right, hold on. My bad. I forgot. I lagged out. All right. Cool. Where was I? No.
There we go.
All right. Oh,
There
damn
we
it.
go.
Killed it. All right. So right here,
Wow.
my sketch.
Yeah.
So it was just a quick sketch. Just get the gears rolling, figure out what I wanted to do. But I pretty liked this overall sketch, and I was like, huh, like it fits nice. Like the idea just popped into my head too. So I hurried up and drew it out, and I showed my grandma. She's like, I like it. So I stuck with it. And then, like I said, the res isn't green, so I just added,
Right.
yeah, some hills, and the sun is rising. Yeah. And I added like those orange strips of sun rays, and then the blue represents the blue sky. But yeah, I just had fun with it. My idea was just creating like a cartoony look, like a fun, like something that catches your eye too, because it has like so much color. And then, yeah.
So what about the figure? Like, okay, oh, you're showing process images. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So this is what I managed to create.
Yeah.
It could be better, but yeah, this is what I've got so far. I don't want to explain, like, go into detail, but to show you guys.
Okay, so I'm not going to say anything, but I'm very curious to hear what all three of you have to add I mean, what do you what is your initial impression especially compared to the last poster?
It's more Keyshawn. Like your personality shows through.
Right. So like his voice, his experiences, right?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to like your last
No,
design
it's
about
fine.
the bird. No, I pay attention to details. I was like the first thing like was a bird. I was like, well, it has to represent something. So that's why I asked like what was the bird for? Like not in a negative way, but I was curious about made me even think about bluebird flower or something.
Did you hear me when I explained it about the bird?
No, they keep cutting off too.
Oh, well, basically that bird in the last one it was like a symbolism for like how nowadays like everything's like social media based, you know? Like it's funny just to see like how your president is like on Twitter just like typing and like posting statuses. Like it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just funny in a way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what that bluebird
Okay.
represents.
Okay.
So I had like two
I
themes.
got you now.
Yeah, so this one's more Native American based and the other one's like more of American. Yeah.
Hey Troy, what are you thinking? We're all struggling with connection
Troy,
today.
you're on mute. He's on mute.
He's on mute.
I like the details of your work and also the color in the background and also how you plan out your sketches. It came out pretty nice. Also the detail and the colors that you use, it blends well. Let's vote.
Thank you.
How come
Shelby-
this wasn't a poster out there when we were voting?
Shelby, what are your thoughts?
So I know the whole theme is basically about the whole voting thing and basically trying to get into like politics on why exactly it's important for us Indigenous people to vote. And for that, I want your opinion on why you chose this person. Like, who is this person? Who did you exactly drew it from? Did you just like had it in your mind? Or did you actually just draw somebody that you know? Like, for us Indigenous people, what do you think the story behind towards voting towards this man in front of this? Like, what is he to you and what is he to us?
I'll answer your question here.
Okay.
Okay, so the person you see in the image, I'm skipping. Wait. The person, like the message I was trying to like, it's just like, I made it Native American theme, like Navajo theme, like just encouraging like people around here to vote and how important it is, you know, every vote counts.
Yeah.
And so it was only right to add like a person in the middle too, you know, and that person is Chief Manny Lito.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I got the person from. So it only felt right to add like, see, I got that picture.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh.
basically, yeah. So it's just like
Oh, cool.
he's like the symbolism. It's just like he was like one of the like best Navajo leaders, and just like the stories about him, like it's crazy. Like just reading about your own like where you come from and all that. So like it only felt right to add him as the main guy in the front. Yeah, I tried like adding like creating like a painting where it's like different colors, like it shows like the features, and he ended up looking like let's see, like Michael Jackson, like Thriller. Like I showed everyone in my family that looks like Michael Jackson. I'm like, oh my god, like They were just roasting my work.
That's family.
Yep. But yeah, that was and then just the hills in the back, you know, the reservation ain't all green and all that. It's just dirt,
Right.
dirt everywhere, dirt and hills. So that's where the color came from. And then the orange is just the sun rays, and the blue's the blue sky, and yeah. And then just adding like aspects of life, like the animals, like the sheep and the horse, like it just brings the picture to life, I guess.
Okay,
Mhm.
Sean, I love this piece. I think it could have been the typeface that says vote could have been tuned a little bit more, I guess, to sort of suit those unique shapes that are sort of wrapping around the sun. That's some constructive feedback I could give you. So like, I think that you could have focused a little bit more time and energy on the typeface, but I think that the portrait and, you know, there's this like painterly thing happening in combination with graphics with this particular piece that I think is working really, really well. And I think part of that painterly thing is maybe you're using the tablet, right? And kind of using your finger to sort of paint, right? With
I have my Apple Pencil and
Okay.
all that.
But yeah, I love the figure, the image, but I also really appreciate the fact that Shelby was asking that question. You know, she wanted to know who is this guy and why. What does it mean for him to vote on the Dene Nation? So I thought that
I
was
know.
what a fantastic question, right?
Yeah, that was a good question. I wasn't
So-
expecting that question
Mhm.
actually.
And then you
I was kind of
and you
I was-
stepped
I
up to
was-
the plate and answered very clearly. So
yeah, I was glad
good job.
she asked that question too, because I didn't want anyone to think like it was just some random like Navajo.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, you know, and Andrea was asking a very good question too. When she did that with the bird, it was very direct. What does that mean? Because all of these things mean something, right? All of these art and visual communication choices that we're making, whether it's design or painting or drawing, it adds up and it means something. So, you know, good job to everyone. So, I love it. Any last comments for this particular design project by Kishan?
I think the typeface also.
What are your thoughts on the typeface? Unpack that a little bit, Troy.
The way we were talking about, I think if I like work with against the sun in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the typeface just could have been more lovingly developed. And I love how, you know, it's really beautiful because it's perfectly centered with those 5 characters that would wrap around the sun. But I just kind of, I feel like the typeface could sort of fit in there more, more comfortably or more intentionally.
I kind of went out there for like a couple of seconds again. I had to log back in. Sorry about that. I don't know what's up with it. It keeps logging me out. I don't know why.
I think it's because when you're screen sharing, it's taking up more bandwidth and your machine is freaking out. But that's okay. What other? Oh, I'm sorry. Someone was going to say something. I thought.
Yeah.
Do you have any other design projects that you want to share with us today?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me see. Hold on. Okay. These ones are still in the process. I don't want to like show like it's not completed yet, but my sketches, I'll just explain my idea.
Yeah.
And in the next session, I'll like show it when it's finished. But so for project 4, so the one that's due this Friday actually. So basically like that one's like a digital collage.
Yeah.
And my idea, like what you were saying, you wanted like more of me, but this one's like the idea of it is like more of me, I guess. And I was gonna like implement like an old picture of like Chief Manny Litso in the middle, and then like certain buildings going down in flames, because like, and that just represents like how the world's like just burning itself to the ground with everything that's going on. And then in the background, it's the United States flag within the flames as well. And then you got people surrounding this native person, this guy like in a Facebook suit with a Facebook face, and these Trump supporters surrounding him. And like, I just need to bring the image to life, but this is what I got so far.
I think it's a great sketch, and this is for your graphic design 2 class. So digital media is obviously, it's supposed to focus more on just using Adobe Illustrator, which is all vectors, right? But the beauty of, you know, using all of these programs together, whether it's InDesign, Photoshop, and Adobe Illustrator, is that you can sort of solve, like, just the way that you were talking about this visual problem and the way that you can solve this visual problem with all of these different software applications. I can't wait to see it done, because you can find photos online, you can edit them, you can, you know, delete background information, you can collage and assemblage all of the, you know, Make America Great Again hats and characters and all of this stuff. And you can create stencils and background images and embed other images within the fire. You can really just take this to a beautiful level. So I can't wait to see it done. I really enjoyed hearing you talk about it. But again, I really want to emphasize that is that, you know, this interdisciplinary work, you know, the way, like, you know, I always, you know, try to show my arm. Like, there's like the hand, the forearm, and then the bicep. Those are the 3 Adobe applications. You know, your hand is pretty useless if you're trying to accomplish things with only your forearm. But when you have all 3 of those applications working together, you can do quite a bit. So that's what these graphic design courses are for. It's for you to start thinking about, you know, all of these things at once and how to solve, how to express your personal vision with these tools. I love the sketch of the figure with the Facebook icon as a head. That is brilliant, because I mean, that is such a loaded image, right? Like, we can all of us on this call right now can relate to that and think, God, man, like, it says quite a bit.
I just want to start on it today, though. It's already in the process, but it's just, I'm pretty sure it'll be done by tomorrow.
All right, don't rush it. Do it right, because, you know, this could be a portfolio piece. But I guess it depends on which office you're applying for and what their political affiliations are, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, a good artist or designer is willing to take a risk. You know, there's no time to be safe in this world anymore. So, you know, put yourself out there and express yourself.
All right. And let's see this. On to the next one. Let's see. This isn't the comic I'm going for, but like, I just wanted to get the idea of like how a comic should look like, you know? Yeah, so this is just like a quick one.
So this is the upcoming digital media project where you're supposed to create a 2 or 3 panel comic, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was just an idea to get things going, my idea. But my new idea, I'm gonna like it's more environmental, I guess. It's about trees and stuff. Yeah, so that one will be finished. But for this one, it's just like a funny cartoon, I guess.
Right.
Like of me, like wanting more extra sleep, especially on the weekdays, because my grandma always wakes me up at 6. Yeah.
I think your storyboarding is really strong here. I like it a lot. But I do want to, again, you know, who was the precedent artist that I had shown you for this particular project? Do you remember?
What was his name? I read it. Hold on. I have it on my phone. It is. I've seen Anthony's work too, though. It was Anuja Shrestha, is it?
Yeah, he was creating these sort of politically motivated illustrations, right? Like socially motivated. But again, you know, I'm trying to encourage everyone to, you know, put yourself out there a little bit. You know, like, what are you thinking about? What are you concerned about? What bothers you? What's working? What's not working?
That's why I just scrapped this one, because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not even following like what's supposed to be done. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm going with the idea of trees, of cutting trees and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
I'll
can
have
you
some tomorrow.
can you stop screen sharing for a second? And what I'd like to do is I think it's important to share those illustrations with folks who are not in that class, meaning, if I'm not mistaken, Shelby and Andrea, because I know, you know, it could be helpful to them as well. So give me a second. Let me find the PDF. There it is. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So, you know, again, you know, this formula should look familiar to everyone where, you know, do a little bit of reading. What's the project purpose? Blah, blah, blah. A quote, project synopsis. Create a socially, politically engaged 2 or 3 panel comic that fits on an 8.5 by 11-inch artboard. And by the way, this is digital media, so we're going to be using primarily Adobe Illustrator software. But I just wanted to show these precedents that are so beautiful in the colors. In particular, I think this one is fantastic because, of course, it's referring to something else too. It's referring to the movie 2001, that the big monolith in 2001, right? So artists and designers are always constantly just kind of looking at what's around them, things that they saw, a movie that they watched, maybe a book that they read.
I like this sleep tight one.
Yeah, this one is beautiful. And this was a poster done by a previous student, which I thought was just so brilliantly done. It's so clear. So again, you know, encouraging folks, and this was done by Casey Mike. I thought this was a beautiful poster, right? So simple, you know, it kind of forces you to think, how can you express a view in just 2 or 3 different panels very quickly and efficiently and directly with the audience? And this was Anthony's work, yeah. He was, I guess he's very concerned that he's being watched constantly, I guess, I don't know. And it's true, you know what I mean? If you're on social media, you know, all of that data is being mined constantly. You're being watched, yeah. So there are a lot of things happening to us that we should all be kind of aware of, concerned about, you know. Okay, I'm gonna stop share. Hey, Sean, I'm really looking forward to seeing the projects completed. I think, you know, I really wanna, of course, encourage you to put yourself out on a limb and express what you're thinking about, you know what I mean? So that we can all sort of see it and hear it and and respond to it, you know, because I'm very interested in who you are and what you're thinking about and what you're concerned about.
Okay. Yeah, but thank you guys. That is all. That's all I had to show.
Okay, who wants to share next?
Good work, Kishan.
Yep, good work. I agree.
Thank you.
So I know we're in a different class, but
Yeah,
mine's
and
gonna be kind of like fast because I'm still trying to put it together, but I kind of want to talk about project 5 for right now, since project 6 and 5 is still trying to be created, but project 5 is created right now. So I thought I could get some insight of what I was going for in the project. So I can do that right now. I'm trying to bring up my folder. Okay, so basically, oh, I should bring up the syllabus too, since I'm kind of in a different class with all of you.
Shelby is currently taking graphic design 1, folks.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of happy that even though I might have like this type of thing where I have to make a flyer or a poster for voting, but for me, I don't like the whole system. And if I wasn't taking on that project, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't think I can. I don't know how to make a voting poster. Okay. I think I can screen share this. I'm still kind of getting used to this whole Zoom share screen. Ah. All right, you can see this. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one's like we're talking about layering, as in like taking like magazines and any kind of materials into your own of creation of doing like a poster, flyer, whatever, or kind of like a design of elements of art as in line and stuff like and other stuff. And basically he really kind of like examples and like breaks it down each by one of like who and what you're trying to learn about each of the product of like the project you are doing. And so basically this whole project is to where was it at? Okay, you had to create a 11 by 17 inch event poster for an existing punk or rock metal band that explores the typographic hierarchy and layered experimentation. So basically, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this could be fun. And in my head, when I was like doing like a Zoom meeting for ahead of time of like seeing what's going on with all of us and how what our plan was and what an idea was for a future project. So for this project 5, I was like thinking, I was looking at these examples he gives. I think Matthew, you really give some good products and some photos of examples of what you're trying to give all of us, and these photos really are inspirational, and there's a lot, and basically it's kind of helped me gives up like what I should and what I should do not and stuff like that, but at the same time it is my own creation. So first off, let me open up my sketches and the beginning. So oof, hold it. Okay. No new shit. I'm gonna do this really fast. I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's not a rush, Shelby. Just relax.
I know. I'm just trying to like open this. Okay. I think I'm just kind of excited. Maybe. Okay. So this was like usually how I usually start things is like when I print out the reading material, I start to write down the questions and basically the info about the artist itself, and then basically it kind of gives me a better insight of what the plan is and ahead of time. On the next page, I didn't take a picture of it, was like my sketches, but I'm still editing it, so I'm gonna take photos of it, and basically I wanted to like experiment with this whole new layering thing. So I actually went to Hobby Lobby and they were having a sale with these like sheets of papers, and basically these sheets are just like to use to cut out, and I can put like words behind it. And so I got the theme of a band that I had in my head was Ice Nine Kills. They're just like basically a metalcore band throughout the years, and they have an interesting story behind their whole music and why I kind of chose them. So I chose like the music sheets, some checkerboards, some orange. I also have more other bright colors as an orange and black. And basically this is what I was creating. Since the history behind Ice Nine Kills is basically they're very a creative band towards the things they like. So the lead singer, Spencer, he didn't really have much educational throughout high school, but he passed by and he never really went to college. He just like created a band right after high school with his friends, and basically they evolved from there. And from his story behind, he is like the most creative person that I know that in music, and he takes things another step in his like albums. And basically I feel like they're kind of not well known to people nowadays, since I have been watching like videos of like people reaction of like other metal bands, but Ice Nine Kills is the least like videos that I can't find that people react to. You can only find a couple. And basically I feel like they need to be more noticeable, because like from the last album, it says every trick from the book is basically about the stories that they read, that they believed in and stuff like that. They put it into their own album. But at first this was like the theme I was going for, like a horror theme of like going to October, since I have the whole logo. I was going to put the information about them. Everything is finished. It's just that I don't have the pictures for it online, but I can show you guys through the camera. And basically I was looking at it and I was like, I wanted to paint at the same time. At the same time, this is like layering. This is what you need to. You shouldn't use paint. You should just like basically try to use magazines and cutouts and stuff like that. I tried to stay away from the paint only for like little details. So I was like, okay, let me just. I was gonna paint the trees, but instead I kind of used like the black sheets of paper I have to make it an eerie kind of color. But so, and I also thought about like I need to add more magazine lettering and try to make it more pop and show what it is exactly. But I can show you right now actually. So stop sharing, and basically my video camera. I use like a foam board for it, but this is how it turned out at the final end, like the lettering right here for the magazines.
Right.
And then it says like Walk of Terror show. And I use a bit of paint, but I have like these like neon paint I keep on the side because I like to paint things like in horror movies, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to brighten it up a bit and then add some highlights. Also, I have like a white pen, so I tried adding highlights to the trees. And the whole thing was like their whole new album, The Silver Screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the album's called. So I cut that out specifically, and then I put it all together in one. I was gonna create other posters and flyers into different ideas, but then I was like, this is like really taking forever. But in my defense, I think I would want to create something like different. So I think I would do that on the side to create my another poster in my own theme. But yeah. What's interesting is that throughout their entire songs, like this was like maybe in 2018, the Every Trick in the Book. I want to basically share screen my website. I'm writing like inspiration and basically trying to get research upon it so I can know so I can like basically post it on Blackboard on why I picked them and what's behind their story basically. And from this is like the website I was going to use for information to write down some notes. You can see this, right?
Yes.
So it says the story behind Ice Nine Kills Every Trick in the Book. Oh, it was actually a 2016 album. Okay. So basically, each of their songs have like a story behind them. So the first song in the single is basically The Nature of the Beast. And it's based on the Animal Farm of George Orwell, masterpiece of songs, develops in the dangerous world of a dictator's bedroom. And basically, he creates like lyrics into making the book and then into the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
The next one was his own. This one doesn't have a music video, but this one does. It's called Communication of the Curse. It's basically a classic novel of the actresses, and he's the one who directs his own. Spencer directs his own basically music videos behind it, and then he tells people what he wants, and he chose location-wise. So it's the whole music video just basically tells the whole horrifying show of a 12-year-old girl, the devil herself, in the 1973. So he created that repetition in that music video. And then from there, it just goes beyond of like Black Beyond, about the Dracula, and then from the plot thickens, I'm sorry. And basically all of this just like becomes itself. This one's a lyric video about a classic novel. All of these is like basically what he read throughout growing up and then basically trying to get inspiration about this. I especially love this song, The People in the Attic. The People in the Attic basically talks about Anne Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And this teenager was forced to hide from the Nazis. He put like the classic novels he read as growing up and that he kind of finds very, that he loves towards his own music and to his own inspirational. There's also another music video he did with Hell in the Hallways with Carrie. This one was probably another favorite of mine of how it was directed. Basically tells the whole story from the beginning and to the end of the prom night.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses fans actually as his audience or his background people of like making this, and which is very creative for him, especially for the next thing that's going up is you can see this, right? This
Yeah,
next,
we can still see it.
okay. So
may I interrupt?
yeah.
I think it's a really good thing that you're showing us, because you're framing the way, even like, you know, when we're looking at precedents and artists that we admire, I think it's easy to forget that they're kind of doing the same thing, where they're sort of taking inspiration and looking at their own lives and their own experiences and what they're reading or what they're viewing as far as movies. And they're taking these things and folding it into their own process as well to
Yeah.
give rationale. So it's a very natural thing, not only for designers and artists to do, but for folks just in popular culture and culture period. You know what I mean? We fold things into our creations. So thank you for kind of framing that. What I'd like to get back to, though, is
Yeah,
us
sure,
maybe
that's fine.
viewing your poster, because I think your poster was really good. I like it a lot. I think it's a very good start, and you pretty much did exactly what I was asking you to do with this project. And, you know, FYI, like Kayshawn, you're in a graphic design class where you're working with software primarily. What I have my graphic design 1 students doing currently is they're not using software at all. They're making everything with their hands. And that's completely by intention, because, you know, this whole idea of even using Photoshop and layers and technology and grabbing photos from online 20, 30 years ago, and, you know, graphic designers were working with their hands and putting together these posters, and then they would have to photograph them and then print them without the convenience of services that we have today. So it kind of, it teaches folks to sort of think about graphic design sort of like in an old sense, but those lessons learned kind of fold into the new technology really nicely for advanced courses. So I'd love to hear from other folks and what they think about your event poster. So if you just kind of want to hold it up, maybe
Yeah, I don't mind.
look at it a little bit.
Right off the bat, looking at it, like, you can already tell like how much work you put into it. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's understandable too, because like, it's, you can tell it's something you like and you're passionate about.
Mhm.
But overall, like, I like the details and like how you actually put in the effort to do everything by hand, and it shows. Like, it's really nice. It's like, I've always like been fascinated with poster designs of like different bands and stuff, because like the art in it, it's like really unique, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it speaks for itself. Like, most of it's images and pictures and drawings, and then there's all these little tiny details that you don't see until you like actually go up to it close. But I think you did really good. Like, you exceeded the expectations. I mean, anyone could have done it like digitally, but you did it all by hand, and that makes it even better. But
Very, very
keep
hard.
up the good work. Good job.
Yeah, and just kind of like highlights, you know, something that the project was about. You know, it's called hierarchy and layering, right? And you definitely did both of those, but the hierarchy refers to the typography. So for example, the way that you read a poster and the information, there's a structural hierarchy to how you're moving through the words and the language. And so obviously at the very bottom, it's very specific. There's a date, there's a time, there's a location, there's a logistical cost. I mean, those are, you know, like, design isn't just, you know, creating visual communication, but also creating logistical communication. And so this project sort of balances those two things out. You did a great job, Shelby. Make sure you get beautiful documentation of
Yeah.
that poster for me, you know, because I definitely want to show my future students that project, so that, you know, that you'll be the precedent next time around for my next graphic design 1 class. Okay, your hard work.
Mhm.
So I'd love to hear from Troy, because he's a design major. I think he can contribute to this discussion pretty well. And Andrea, I feel like you're an excellent designer as well. I'd love to hear from you and Lindsay.
I like her individuality about her work. It's different and it's new ideas that I see, and I'm learning a lot from her too. So I appreciate all the little details she's walking us through, because, you know, I'm, like I said, I'm not really good with graphic design, but I'm learning as I'm watching her steps. So good job. I really like everything, even what Kishan was talking about, like there's something about rock and roll posters. There's just so much character within the details. Like you have to like really look at these posters, and they're different. And I really like the way she collaged everything together, and it just came out really well. And it really suited her
Mhm.
character and her personality too. So good job, everybody.
Mm.
I think we lost Troy. Darn it. Well, that seems to be happening right now. I don't know, Lindsay, do you want to add to the conversation at all? I guess in the meantime, since Troy may be coming back, or it looks like Lindsay's about to, yep.
Sorry, I have
Okay.
slow connection, so if you
It's all
hear me curse, I'm sorry.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We're artists and designers. It's okay.
We all have our
Alright,
moments.
my bad. Okay. I liked Shelby's work. It was very creative, and it had the horror theme, and it had the different like writing with the white pen, and it just looked like as a collective image. It just looked really interesting, and it had a eerie effect to it. So I liked it. It was a good job on your poster.
Mhm.
On your assignment.
Shelby, do you have any progress on Project 6 by any chance?
Not right now. No, I don't have everything online, so that's
Okay.
what I was like.
That means you're going to owe me a little extra more next time around, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. Just as long as we have an agreement.
Mhm.
So let's move on to web stuff, since we're waiting on Troy to come back and report on his graphic work. But, you know, whoever wants to go first, Andrea or Lindsay, just kind of maybe screenshot your web progress and let us know where you're at. And by the way, they're both in advanced web design, and both of them did quite well in web design 1. They've got the chops with using HTML and CSS coding language to kind of understand what's going on the back end when they're coding. And now what their task is they need to actually create a personal website for themselves. And so they should be roughly 75% done with their project. And by the end of the semester, they owe me a complete website. So that's kind of the feedback that you need to give them, and that's providing a little bit of context. And then if I missed anything, Andrea or Lindsay, please let me know. So who wants to share first? On, guys.
I can share what I got so far.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, everybody. I'm kind of half asleep. But I'm in web design 2, and like what Matthew was saying, we have to work on a personal website. So we chose templates off this one website that he shared with us. So I chose this one that had an oil painting on it. But I went and put my image in there, a drawing that I did, I think last semester. And then I'm trying to just put my information in there. Like I'm just starting on my welcome homepage. And then I still need to work on the about and then the photos. I need to add my links and then add my contact information. So I lost my flash drive that had a lot of pictures of my work. So I'm scrambling around trying to take more photos of my work that I did so that I could add it into this website of mine so that I could finish it. But this is where I'm at so far in the template that I chose. So
we
yeah.
can see your file folder, but can you open up the website with a browser so that we can kind of and walk us through it?
Is it on?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Very cool.
So yeah, it was a different color, so I changed it to my favorite color, maroon, and I like chocolate brown for some reason. So yeah, this is where I'm at with it. I'm still, like I said, plugging in my information. So there's still a lot of those lorem ipsums on there.
Right.
So I'm just trying to switch out from my previous project too that I did, just using the same almost images, but yeah, I'm trying to find different images of works that I did so I can complete my project 8. But yeah, this is what I'm working on, and then I make the links communicate with one another
Mm-hmm.
where it could take you to another link and stuff, and then yeah, my contact information. So that's where basically I'm at right now. So it's a work in progress. I'm not completed yet, but this is the template I chose.
So, Andrea, like, I think this is great. I think it's so exciting to see you using, your HTML, CSS knowledge towards your own personal website. So congratulations. It's looking really good. It's a great start.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you should feel really confident with your skills as an artist, a designer, and now you can add web developer to your skills list.
Yeah, it took me a while. I kind of forgot how to unzip files, and I had to go back in my book and read because like this is really hard for me to learn.
Right.
But yeah, this is how far I got.
That first web design book is awesome. All the information is in there and it's mapped out very, very clearly. So I always suggest that my students hold on to that initial web design book. What's it called? Trying to see if I have it around here. There it is. It's just called HTML and CSS by that guy with the last name Duckett. But that is such a great book to kind of like, because I have to do that all the time as well, Andrea. You have to sort of refresh. But essentially all that knowledge allows you or has allowed you to go into the back end of this template and make it your own. So, yeah.
Right. There's a lot of coding. So my links are not talking to each other right now. I have to like refresh my memory of how to make them talk to one another so it can take you to other links. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I want to add like a Facebook logo on there. And then I don't have Twitter, but yeah,
So
I just.
are there social media icons at the bottom of this template or no?
No, not yet. That's what I want to add on. So yeah.
Sometimes these templates have all that sort of already in there, but.
Yeah, this one doesn't have it on there. Just I have to do everything from scratch.
So, I mean, of course, that is why, initially when I was presenting this project to everyone, I mentioned you need to go on this website and you need to find the template that best works for your work. Because that'll save you a lot of work down the road, right?
Yes.
These templates kind of come prepackaged to rock and roll. And then you just kind of swap out some of the content and make a few changes. And then if you're familiar with HTML and CSS, that stuff can be done. but yeah, I think you're definitely on your way, Andrea, and I'm looking forward to seeing the final product.
Right. Yep, that's what I have so far.
I guess we lost Troy. He's disappeared. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. So who wants to go next, Lindsay or Troy? Andrea, well, first of all, feedback from Shelby and Kishan or anyone else who wants to give Ms. Andrea some positive
Okay,
feedback.
it was really interesting because I really love web design and making your own kind of stuff on websites and stuff like that. And what you did was like very clean and very organized, and it kind of was like, whoa, like you did this, and I fell in love with it. But the one thing that kept like probably was the wording. If you could, I don't know if you can go back on it, but the top of the wording, how like it's all low caps. I felt like maybe we could like put them in like in order of like the first word or the in cap. Yes, this art is always my first love. I kind of feel like if you're gonna start with a sentence, you should put like a capital in front of the A as an art. Kind of like that, or unless like you were trying to do that on purpose.
Just trying to mess with that's where I'm at too. I'm trying to read, like it is on my coding, like this part's capitalized right here, but it's not showing up right here. So I have to go back and read why it's doing that. So
That's probably
Uh,
something to do with the CSS. So if you go into the CSS rules, Andrea, you'll find the coding that targets that part of the template.
okay.
And I know, like,
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm still messing with all this font and
Mhm.
I don't even want this font. I think I want something different. And then this one right here, I want to change it too. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to work on. It's
Yeah.
just, I'm just overwhelmed with a lot of things.
No worries. It is kind of hard, especially the coding.
But yeah, this is my drawing I did, I think last semester. I don't remember if I took second place for this in the art show. So yeah.
any other feedback for Andrea?
I don't know much about web design, but looking at your website looks pretty good. I mean, the color choice and then like that art at the beginning, like at the top page, like really stands out too. I really like it. Like, looks cool.
Thank you.
So Andrea, what's the forecast for website completion? Are you confident it'll sort of, I guess, resolve?
I lost you.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Um,
I was just mentioning, like, it looks like you've made some progress, but what about reaching 100% completion before this semester? How are you feeling about that?
I feel like I'm at 25. Like I need to step it up and add more details and
Yeah.
get on the ball with completing
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, the reason I'm bringing that up is because I did say that previously during the crit. We are in the first week of November, and really we only have 3.5 more weeks until things really are basically kind of done. So November is going to go by pretty fast, and I'm just trying to remind students to put it in gear. But I think you have fantastic progress under your belt right now, Andrea. So you should feel good about things.
thank you.
Okay, so let's talk to Troy or Lindsay.
I like your website, Andrea. It was interesting, and your paintings are always very nice too. Good work, Andrea. I wanted to do my
Can
Thank you.
you're welcome. I want to do the critique
Sure.
for my webpage. Okay. Okay, so here's my webpage. I generated my own banner and my own bullets, and it kind of looks similar to the chapter 5 assignment
Hmm.
with the cascades, and I have different
Lindsay, can you hear us?
yeah.
Okay.
So these are all different sections that I created, and the links aren't actually active, but I need to figure out how to do that part. And I just need to make sure my images are rendered onto this web page. And here's the coding.
Lindsay, we're having trouble seeing the screen. I don't know if you could stop screen sharing and then start it again, and maybe we'll see what you're doing on your end.
Okay. Can you see
Oh yeah,
this?
now we see it, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is my web page. I created my own banner and bullets. It looks sort of like Project 5 with the cascading styles. And some of these links are not active, but you can see them rendered onto the page by the CSS and HTML codes. And these
So-
are the these are the code. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, are you using a template then?
Not exactly from that website, but this is just something I kind of used from Project 5.
I think it looks good, yeah. It's really nice and simple. So it's very, very good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I changed the colors of the fonts, and
Mm-hmm.
I changed a little bit of this and that, and I added the little different bullets and the banners. I think this banner is the only one that didn't come out correctly. I'm not sure why, but I think I have to change the pixels and like change the margin or something. So I need to look that up. So this is pretty much just what I have so far. And this is the code, the HTML code and the CSS code. And oh, here's the photos of my artwork that I wanted to post onto this web page.
Yeah.
So it's just a brief glimpse at what I'm doing. Some of my sketches for drawing and my drawing. Oh, my eye, my self-portrait and different projects, my paintings and just
Awesome,
different.
Lindsay. Yeah, I'm really excited seeing all this. This is great.
Yep. So this is what I have so far.
So
I just wanted to quickly share.
yeah, how far along do you think you are on your project? What is your project completion rate? Is it above 75% or below?
I would say maybe about 70.
Okay.
Yeah, probably 70.
It's like an arbitrary number, I know. But the reason why I'm asking, of course, is I'm, again, trying to remind folks that there is a timeline involved. And, all of these deadlines for all of these different courses are going to start compounding quickly. So whether you have studio classes with me, Professor Whitesinger, whomever, Dr. Britton, try to get organized and make sure you get it all done to your best ability, and call it a day. But yeah, the deadlines
Okay.
are coming up around the corner. But I think you're well
Yes.
on your way, Lindsay. It looks good.
All right. Thank you.
And I was going to start talking about your beautiful figurative drawing work, but we can do that in the next crit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Troy, it looks like you're any last comments for Ms. Lindsay?
No, I'm good.
It looks good. I like her style of art, especially.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like appealing to the eye, kind of.
Well, Kishan, you're welcome to join the next
Thank
crit
you.
if you just want to hang out and give some feedback. But we're having a drawing crit after this.
A drawing crit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could stick around.
I'll send you the link. Okay, because
Okay.
we're in a little bit of a rush, we're running out of time. We got to sort of put our foot on the gas a little bit. So Troy, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I want to give the time for Troy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good job, Lindsay.
Can you see
Thank
that?
you.
Yeah.
Here's my project for digital media 2, and it was about a poster of voting, and I created this from a sketch that I did, and I put the sketch through Adobe Illustrator, and like just placed over it with the pen tool. Also, the colors that I use. The background color was from the Navajo Nation flag, and
Mm.
also the color within the figure is like from a turquoise, like a turquoise jewelry.
Mhm.
And I think this is for my project 4 digital media 2, and there was two posters that I did. I didn't know, I wasn't sure which one to pick, so I just created 2. I think this one's the second one.
I think I prefer the first because I love the stark, the profile of the figure. I think is so powerful and strong, Troy. I think it works better when the typography is in the lower left-hand corner
Yeah.
because the figure is just really, it's a beautiful image.
And the sketches right here that I did. So I think the artist, the president, I research, it kind of like inspired me to do something like, I think their work was like kind of simple, so I went that route on
Yeah.
doing that for the poster.
Do you have another project in progress? The comic?
Yeah. This one's for Project 5. Graphic design 2,
Okay.
and I took this figure from one of my drawing that I did from the drawing class, and I guess the comic was about mainly I guess what's going on in the Navajo reservation, and through the pandemic and all the virus, since the virus happened, and I guess it's like a start of the virus, and I wanted to do like a figure of the woman a symbol of a Navajo person of the Navajo Nation, and I guess this one was the second panel. I guess this comic, this artwork was refer back to the lockdown that's going on during on the Navajo reservation. So this is like the map of the Navajo Nation, and see like a bars or rebar, like a lockdown, I guess.
Troy, I think we're still seeing your profile image. So we're seeing the previous poster.
Can you see this one?
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, this one's for Project 5.
Mm-hmm.
So for the comic illustrator, and I wanted to do about the COVID that's going on the Navajo Nation, and
Yeah.
I want to add more. So I guess I'm not like really finished on it.
That's okay.
And yeah, this is what I've been doing for the comic.
Wow. That's a powerful image.
And I think this one's for the Project 5 for digital media too.
Yeah.
So mainly this is actually from a newspaper that I cut out. So I just uploaded it to my computer, and I cut out the piece and upload it to the computer and download to the computer.
Troy, have you taken a publication design class with me yet?
I don't think so.
So I'm going to be offering publication design in the spring, and that's a heads up for all the graphic design students here. But publication design focuses more on Adobe InDesign. And so, so I'm kind of like looking at this project, and I think it's so beautiful, but I almost kind of feel like, you know, Adobe InDesign is a compositing software application. So you can sort of take collage assets, kind of like what you're doing in this project, and piece them together really efficiently with Adobe InDesign. But we'll talk about that further, you know, in January. But I think I love this image. What is your project completion rate on this poster?
I don't think it's probably about 80.
Yeah.
Just need to fix a few areas.
I think it's a really good start. I love the precedent that you're looking at too.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else to show us today, or those 3 projects? Yeah.
I think I have another one.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
So another one was about the voting poster.
Mm-hmm.
This one's for Project 4 for digital media 2. And this is actually I sketched out of a family member. And I asked him first to see if I can sketch him. And he said, yeah. So it was just about from a photo. And I told him if I could use one of his photos, and he said, yeah. So this was an actual sketch that I did of him, and was mainly about towards the voting poster. And here, this is what I did for through Adobe Illustrator. Can you see this one?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
What typeface is that?
Not sure.
Heads up for design students also, I'm going to be offering Typography 1 in the spring as well. So if you're a design student, that'll be the first time we've offered that class here at Dannett College. So, and it's required for your checklist.
Can you see this one?
We still see the vote poster.
Oh, what about now?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Cool.
Yeah. So this was all the colors that was mainly random, I guess, from the Navajo, mainly towards the Navajo Nation flag, and also from like colors from my drawings from previous project from drawing class.
Mm-hmm. I think you have a real talent for illustration, first of all, Troy. I'm just going to give you feedback on all these projects that we've just kind of been viewing, but I think they're all really strong. This particular poster I think is beautiful, and I love how you're integrating your design abilities with your drawing abilities. So you're drawing and bringing those sketches or scans into the digital software and using them to your advantage. And you go in, you grab those vectors, and then you manipulate them to suit a very specific and intentional color palette, which I think is brilliant. And I love how you have them kind of on the right-hand side. Now, I know that's something that, you know, we were doing in earlier digital media classes, but I think it's really important to kind of almost sort of have a palette and a restrained but very specific palette for these illustrations. But I think this is a beautiful poster, this particular one, Troy, and it really does kind of, I think it's, the message is clear. It's also really clear to me that it's local or unique to the Navajo Nation.
Yeah.
And it's also very, very Troy. So I think, you know, your personal voice is in this poster, and I really appreciate that. So I'm going to let other folks kind of, you know, comment on all the work that they've been seeing. But again, I do want to remind folks that we have a time limit because there's another crit starting relatively soon. So try to be brief with your comments, and then, but you know, Troy, you did brilliant work, and even the things that you're still working on, make sure you complete them to a caliber that's appropriate for what you want to be doing and for your portfolio, of course. Make sure you take it to a level you're comfortable with. So other folks, jump on in. I'd definitely like to hear from the designers, particularly Shelby and Keshawn.
What was the program that you're using again, the Adobe? Because I also got like the Creative Cloud, the whole software too from that, and basically I usually use that for my photography class, and basically she kind of gave us an assignment of like using all 55 tools from a photo of ours that we took from our camera. And basically it is kind of hard, especially even though there's YouTube videos of how to basically to learn about all of these, each of the tools. And I find it kind of fascinating about people who make edits or basically computerized art, and they post it like all over on social media saying like, look what I created and look what this happened. And I'm over here like the tiniest little details kind of does matter through a software, because like especially for what you're using too, and basically it kind of brings that out and you're learning and into doing simple basically art from it. And I kind of enjoy how you were talking about each and every one of them, even though we all are kind of slowly learning about each and new things.
Mm.
And the color coordinates too.
Yeah.
Okay, Kashan.
Yeah.
What are
Sorry.
your thoughts? What do you think?
I don't know. To be honest, his project, I like his illustrations. I like how he does everything by hand
Mm-hmm.
and how he draws it out first, then he implements it into whatever software he's using, and that's something I need to do too. I need to start doing. But this one, I like the rays in the background of this specific one. It kind of reminds me of the one I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but his color palette too. I like how he did that. Like shows what colors he's using. That's something I need to do too. And get comfortable with. And for some critical feedback, I would suggest maybe implementing the grid in your designs and
Mhm.
having things more symmetrical. I can kind of see it's not like really in the centered, like certain things, but it's still good. I like it, but good job overall. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this piece.
Okay, folks, I know it's going to be a bit of an abrupt ending, but just because there's another critique kind of right around the corner. Any last comments that we want to kind of make as a group, and I'll kind of start, but I think that all the designers here, whether it's web, graphic, or digital media, everyone's doing a good job. Keep it up, and just kind of remember that, some deadlines are kind of looming right around the corner. Week 12 is pretty much done, so we are entering week 13 next Monday, or this Monday rather. And then you pretty much have week 13 and 14 and 15, and technically week 16 is finals week. So really there's 3 weeks left. So make a list of things that you need to do to button up and patch up, or whatever metaphor works for you, and make sure you finish the semester strong. Any other last comments before we adjourn?
No.
No, that's it.
And Troy, I think your illustrations were really nice. I enjoyed them a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing that one completed. It looked like it still needed a little bit more work. Time.
Oh yeah.
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 If you're gonna in any of my drawing classes, or excuse me, 445 or 415, you're required to be in the next crit, which is going to be starting here pretty darn soon. Okay, guys. See you soon on the other side. Bye.
Later.